thought I would just do a little baking video today. I'm going to be making an apple pie and a beef pie. I thought I'd do two in one while I'm making the pastry. This is the filling for the beef pie. It's just a tin stewed steak from Tesco, and then I've got some Bramley cooking apples here which I'm going to peel and stew in the microwave, and yeah, we'll get this done. So first I'm going to just peel these apples, chop them up and put them into a bowl, add a tiny bit of water and sugar, and stew them. That seems to be peeling okay. I'm going to use about 3 large apples, so hopefully that will be enough. Okay, now I'm going to chop them into small pieces, kind of about this size. Okay, so I've chopped the apples up into small chunks. There's probably a few too many there for a pie kind of this size, but they probably will boil away to nothing. So yeah, I'm just going to add a little bit of sugar now. I'm just going to put, I don't know, 3 teaspoons in at the moment. And then just a little bit of water to make sure they don't burn. Okay, so I've just put a little bit of water in. Just give that a mix up. It may need more water, I'm not sure, but I don't want to put too much in. I literally just put, you know, a trickle in the bottom. So I'm going to put it in the microwave now and cover it over. Okay, so while they are stewing in the microwave, I'm just going to weigh out my pastry ingredients. So I've got some plain flour here. I've also got some Lurpak butter. Now you want 2 parts flour to 1 part butter. So I always find it takes approximately 250 grams of flour and half that of butter to make a pie this size. So I'm making 2 pies. I'm going to be doing 500 grams, that's half a kilo of plain flour. So I'm just going to weigh that out. Yeah, that's enough. So yeah, it'll be about that much. I'm just going to put that into my mixing bowl. I'm sure everyone knows how to make pastry, but if you never have, then this is how you do it. And then we want half the amount of butter. So that's, excuse the microwave, so that's 250 grams of butter approximately. Okay, that's about 250 grams. So we're going to add that to our mixing bowl. Make a little well in the flour. Okay, and then we're going to sort out our eggs. So I've got 3, are they medium? I don't know if they're medium or large eggs, but anyway. I'm going to crack those into this bowl and then just beat them up. Oops. Just going to whisk them with a fork, and that will be gradually added to our pastry mix in a minute. Okay, so we set those aside. You don't need those yet. Let's just get everything out of the way. Okay, so I've just put the apples back in the microwave. They've had about 3 minutes so far, and what I've got to do is just keep giving them a few minutes, periodically stirring them around to make sure they all end up mushy. And I'm going to make my pastry mix now. So we've got everything weighed out. I've actually just realised what I've done. Normally I would make pastry with lard, just lard, and I've put butter in. I don't know why. I've made pastry 100 times before, but we're going to have to just go with it now. Hopefully it will still bind together. But yeah, normally I would put lard in instead of butter. So 2 parts flour to 1 part lard, or you could have half and half. So you could have half butter and half lard. But this is all butter. Well, I've heard of all butter pastry, so let's just hope to God that this is going to work. But it is quite soft. It's actually coming up a lot finer than if I just use lard, so we shall see. So if you just try and get your fingers right to the bottom of the bowl, get them properly covered in flour, and then use this kind of motion where you just gently let them sift through your fingers. So try not to squeeze, because otherwise it will just squeeze the butter into larger lumps again. So you just want to have this kind of motion until you get a breadcrumb-like consistency. Keep going till all the big lumps are gone. Okay, so this is looking about right now. It wants to look something like this, that breadcrumb consistency. Now we're going to make a well, so make a little dip in the middle of your mixture, and we're going to gradually add the eggs. So just get a wooden spoon. And because I'm filming, there's no wooden spoon in sight. And then we're just going to mix from the middle. So just kind of let the flour fall into the middle as you're mixing. And then add a bit more egg. Now there's usually not enough egg mixture to kind of wet all of the flour, so you usually would end up adding some water as well. But you should always add it very gradually, because obviously if you get it too wet, you're in trouble. And with using all soft butter, that's something I've got to be careful of this time. I can't believe I've done that, you know. Well, I can. I think it's a combination, it's a combination of filming and messing around with the apples as well that just has put me off. But anyway. So yeah, we're not going to have enough moisture, I don't think. So I'm going to fill up this dish with a bit of water. I'm just going to keep adding a spoonful or two. And the aim is obviously to get a big lump of dough in the middle of your bowl. A little bit of water makes a big difference with pastry, so don't be tempted to slap loads in at once. And try not to squeeze your pastry too much, because that will squeeze all the air out of it, and you know, the less you handle it really, the better. I think we're kind of about there. So we've now got a ball of pastry. And everything is more or less gone from the sides of the bowl now, so I think we'll be okay. Right, it is very crumbly though, so I do hope this is going to hold together. It's looking a bit dubious at the minute. So we're going to clear some space and make ourselves a place to roll out the pastry. I'm just going to wipe my surface down a bit, just in the area that we're going to roll, and then we're going to sprinkle just a little bit of plain flour onto the worktop so that it doesn't stick to it. Now just do that with your hands. Okay, so if your pastry is too wet, you can always add a bit of flour to your hands when you're handling it as well. Okay, so we're going to put it on there, and then we're just going to do this sort of action with it. So just press it in around the edges like that, and then give it a bit of a thing with your knuckles. You see it's cracking, and normally it wouldn't crack like this if I used the lard. So I'm just gonna add a bit of water to my fingers just to sort of hopefully seal it up a bit. It's a weird consistency. It's sort of sticky and yet it's still cracking, whereas normally it wouldn't do that. If it was sticky, it would stick together. Okay, I'm gonna just put a bit of flour on the pin. Okay. And then we're just going to roll it out now. So I'm going to roll it out from the middle. In fact, I'm going to cut it in half so that we're just dealing with half of it for a start. Because we're only going to make one pie to start with. So don't worry about the shape too much, just want to get a big enough surface to make the bottom of the pie and then have some left over for the lid. So yeah, just roll it outwards like this from the middle. Don't roll it backwards and forwards. And then just keep feeling the thickness of it with your fingers and turning it around. Turning it around so that you're in a better position to roll it. I think that's about the right thickness. I mean, it's probably about 3 or 4 mil thick, that. So get your pie dish. We'll have this one. No, we'll have this one. So get your pie dish and just literally drape your pastry over your pie dish. Okay. So like this, push it down into the corners, like so. So it's like that. And then we're going to just trim off the edges with a knife. Just feel your way along the edge of the dish. There we go, that should be okay. Right, we've got a bit of a hole there, so I'm just going to plug that. Professional, not right. So there we go, that's our pie bottom. And then we're going to finish off stewing the apple filling. And we've got some left over for the pie lid once the filling is done. Okay, so our filling is done now. It's come out of the microwave. It's actually a little bit more mushy than I'd wanted it to be, but that's what comes of doing too many things at once. Okay, so that's now ready to go into the pie. I've just put the oven on now, so you want that to preheat. I'm going to do the pie on about 180 degrees C. So I'm just going to pour this mixture into the pie now. Take an oven glove. As I thought, we might have slightly too much filling here. Maybe not. We're not far out. I'll just even it up a bit. Okay, and then we can make our pie lid while the oven is heating up. Bit more flour on the worktop. And again, just do that. This keeps the edges neat. I'm not sure what the kneading is for, to be honest, but it's from my old granny. I can't make pastry without thinking of her because she taught me how to make pastry and mince pies. I used to go and stay with her on a Saturday and we'd always bake mince pies and jam tarts, And then with the little leftover bit, I'd always make like a mincemeat pasty and do like an elaborate design on it with the fork. But she was lovely. We both had our own aprons. And yeah, we had loads of fun. She used to play dolls' houses with me. Shops. I had a full shop. I had like a desk with mustard jars, Coleman's mustard jars, that she'd saved up and filled with all different kinds of sweets, like the rainbow drops, the white chocolate buttons, and then we'd have like several mini Kit Kats and fun size Mars bars and fun size Snickers and things, all kind of lined up on the counter as though they were in a shop. And I had like my own scales and my own till. It was brilliant, bless her. Plastic fruit as well we used to sell. I do miss her. Okay, we haven't got a lot of pastry spare for the lid actually, so I hope this is going to stretch out as far as we need. Okay, I think that might be alright. Slap this on the top, and I'm going to trim around, so there it is on the top now, as you can see it. So now we're going to trim around the edges again to make it nice and neat, or as neat as possible anyway. There we go, so there's the lid on the pie. Now what we're going to do is take fork and then just go around the edges of the pie like this, just to kind of seal it. We're also going to seal around the edges with a bit of water, so just dip your finger into a bit of water and just run your finger around the edge of the pie like that, and that just helps the lid to stick better to the pie. So then we're going to take the fork and we're just going to press the fork into the edge of the pie like that, so it just gives it a nice attractive crust like that. So we're going to do that all the way around. That's it, and then we're just going to make some little holes in the top of the pie just to let the steam out, and voila, there's your pie. I'm going to do this for about, I don't know, 45 minutes I would think it would take. So I'm going to stick that in the oven now. Take note of the time, and then we're just going to do the same again for the meat pie. And now we're going to take our tin of lean stewed steak in gravy. I'm going to add that to our pie. I'm going to take a second tin. And there we have it, one meat pie. I'm going to do this one for about 45 minutes as well, so I'm just going to get this one into the oven. There we go, so they should take about 45 minutes, as I said, on about 180, and I will show you the finished result when they come out. Okay guys, here are the finished pies. They're out of the oven now. The left hand one is the apple pie, the one on the right is the meat pie. So yeah, they've come out okay. I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you did, please like and subscribe to my channel. I'd really appreciate that, and keep your eye out for my other vlogs, live videos, beauty and fashion videos, and ASMR too. Thanks for watching. Bye.